Hello everyone, it's Vicky here and we're going to do some cooking. We're going to make a delicious Italian tomato risotto. It's a really easy recipe and really delicious, so let's crack on. So here we have the ingredients that we're going to use for our risotto, and a lot of it is just stuff that I found in the fridge, but that's the beauty of a risotto. You can put all sorts in there for your flavourings, but the basis of it is always going to be an onion, preferably a red one like that one, a bit of garlic, and of course the risotto rice, which is always the Italian short grain rice. You can't be using your basmati rice or your jasmine rice. You really need the short grain rice because it's very absorbent and it creates that lovely creamy texture of a risotto. So to start off with, we need to clear the decks and prepare the vegetables. So we're going to prepare the onion. I'm going to, I've already peeled it as you can see, and I'm going to just cut it in half through the root, and then we're going to sort of chop it into small pieces. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to slice it down there, not going quite all the way to the root, and then you can just slice it like so, and you get these lovely small pieces of onion. Go. Oops, a bit of the root there, and the same with this one. So how quick is that to slice my onion into lots of small pieces? And there we go. I'm going to pop this back in a little bowl, ready to prepare my risotto. Here we go. There we go. And the next thing I'm going to do is prepare my garlic, and to do that I'm going to use a garlic crusher, because by using a garlic crusher it will press out all the oils from the garlic and make the flavour that much more intense. So there we go, and I'm just using the back of the knife blade to collect it there. There we go. So plenty of garlic, and again I'll just pop that back into the bowl. Okay, so when we start to cook, what we're going to do is I've got a big pan, and in the pan I'm going to melt some butter, and it's about 1 ounce. So in that goes, see in the pot? So here we are, just melting the butter. So the butter's all melted now, and I'm going to add my onion so that we can get the onion nicely sauteed in the butter. I'm doing this on a fairly low heat. We don't want too much heat in there. We don't want to burn it. And that's the thing with risotto, it can take half an hour to stir in all the stock, which we're going to do shortly. And sometimes people think that's not very good use of their time and they don't like doing it. So there is another way of cooking risotto. You can literally get all the ingredients and do what I call chuck and bung, put it all in an oven-proof dish. You still have to do this with the onions first to get it all coated, but then once you've done that, you can throw it all in the dish with your stock and pop it in the oven, 180 degrees, gas mark, for about half an hour, 40 minutes. The problem with doing it that way is you still need to check that there is enough liquid in there, so you are having to check it every so often, but maybe not standing over it like you do when you do it on the hob. So if you perhaps want to do something else while you're making the risotto, you could try that. But I just think doing it this way on the hob means that you do get a much creamier texture. It does seem to cook the rice through a little bit more thoroughly. Okay, so I'm just keeping an eye on this onion, and now it's starting to go translucent. Can you see that? It's just starting to cook. I'm going to add the garlic, so this gives a nice flavour. Okay, and again I can smell, once you can smell the aroma from the onions and the garlic coming off, you know it's on its way. And then we're going to add the rice. So it's just the rice goes in pretty dry. So we're going to add that. And what we need to do now is actually make sure all that rice gets coated with the butter. Okay, because we want to get all that butter all over that rice before we start to add the stock. So this is when we get to the slow tedious bit that a lot of people don't like when it comes to making risotto. But you know, if you want to just chill out for half an hour, then this is the time to do it. So we've made sure all that rice is coated with the butter, and now I'm going to add the stock. And you literally add it 1 ladleful at a time. This is about just over a pint of chicken stock. You could use vegetable stock. I'm just going to add it, and you stir and stir until all that liquid is absorbed, and then only then do you add the next one. Can you all see what's going on in here? So as you can see, it's all sizzling away, but until it's actually absorbed into the rice, I won't be adding any more. And then as soon as all that liquid is gone, the next one goes in. There we are. And you just have to keep stirring. Now, like I say, you can do this by putting everything into an oven-proof dish and just putting it in the oven. But if you do that, don't just forget about it for too long, because if it all dries out, it could spoil. You do need to keep checking in case it needs more liquid, because you've got to keep adding the liquid until that rice has plumped up and fluffed up beautifully, and that can take half an hour or so. So this one's going to take some time, so rather than have you watching me do this, we'll come back in a while when it's all absorbed. Some people ask, how do you know when it's time to add the liquid? Well, if you just see what we've got here, it goes a bit like sort of pudding, so there's no loose liquid in the pan, and then you know it's time to add some more. So we just add some more, and if you get to the end of the amount you've measured out of your stock, and you still feel it needs a bit more, you can add some boiling water. You could even add wine actually if you wanted to. I don't tend to do that, but you can add some wine as long as you cook off the alcohol. But the important thing is that you're getting enough liquid in here to swell that rice. So we'll check the consistency when all the liquid's gone in, and then if we think we need any more, we can add more. But the important thing is you don't want the rice to be hard. It wants to be lovely and soft and creamy. So all the liquid has gone in. I reckon I've put about 500 to 600 mils of stock and a bit of extra as well. And you can see how much it's increased in volume. It's really sort of pudding-like. And the way to test it is to just taste a little grain and make sure there's no hard, crunchy bit in the middle, and then you know it's ready for the next stage. Okay, so now it's time to add the rest of the ingredients into our risotto. So let me show you what we've got, and if this absorbs any of the liquid, I might find I have to add a bit more, but it's all very a hit and miss. There's no real accuracy to it. You just have to sort of go by what it feels like. So I've sliced up some mushrooms, 4 mushrooms there, they're going in. Give them a stir. And also I've got some chorizo. Like I said, it was just stuff that I found in the fridge, So there was some left. I've just chopped it up into small pieces. I'm going to pop that in and just mix it all in. Okay, and while that's just cooking down in there, I've got my tomatoes. So I've got some cherry tomatoes which I'm going to cut in half, and then they'll be added as well. So you just pop them in half like so. Now we're going to add some tomato puree. There's about a tablespoon there. In that goes. Give it the red colouring. And then all these tomatoes that I've chopped are going in. There we go. And this is all adding a bit more moisture, so there's no way this rice is going to be hard in the middle. So I'm just going to leave that to cook through for a second, and just three more things to go in. A little bit of turmeric, gives it a nice colour. So half a teaspoon of turmeric going in. There we go. Can you see what's going on there?
Okay.
So you can see now everything's all in there. Nice consistency, and let me just one final taste. The rice is perfect, and the seasoning is also good because we've used stock and a bit of turmeric in there. So just in a second I'm going to serve it up, and then we'll garnish it with some basil and some parmesan cheese. So now we can serve our risotto, and this this portion here will serve, well, depends how much you like, 2 big portions or 4 small portions, and there we go. So I'm now going to add some basil leaves, put them here, and a grating of parmesan. So here we go. And there it is. There is your tomato risotto.